Okay, so it's an advertisement about emojis.
They can express how you're feeling.
Uh-huh.
I like the little poop one. I'd be like, oh my god, I'm feeling my poop.
What? Is that really what this is about? Always. More like Kleenex, am I right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. They're pink or like a girl. There's no girls in the profession emojis, unless you count being the bride of profession.
Oh no. What a disaster.
Nope, it's just a guy with long hair.
Girls love emojis, but there aren't enough emojis to say what girls do.
Are you serious?
That's just how things are.
I want every girl to grow up knowing that she's capable of everything.
Everybody's a victim. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Now, the stuff I'm about to say might be called triggering, but if the intended party is offended by this, then I'm doing my job right. The fact that this ad exists in the first place is very troubling, to say the least. To think that we've come so far in society only for emojis to be considered a systemic problem. In the modern era, one of the most pervasive issues we face is the victim mentality. Now, I'm a high schooler, which means I see this literally everywhere. 14-year-olds thinking that they're living through the brunt of human suffering. Single moms are screaming at minimum wages for getting an extra free topping on their pizza. Weeaboos crawling in their skin at the subparness of Western culture. It's a tragedy, really. Because the whole reason they act like this is because of a severe case of ignorance. Now hear me out, just think about this, right? Do you realize that billions of people need to be locked in crushing poverty just so that a few million can complain about how awful their lives are? It's absolutely ridiculous. I would even go so far as to say it's very ungrateful, that kind of attitude. Now, I understand that there needs to be a balance between deal with it and something needs to change. But for an advertisement like this to exist, for emojis to be called systemic problem, you need to be so far on this end of the spectrum, completely closed off to any idea of social compromise that, maybe this isn't so bad, that you've created what's called a first world problem. A first world problem is an issue that's so minute and minuscule that any attempt to empathize with it just ends in laughter. I mean, Reinhega made a pretty funny video about it a couple of years ago, in case you don't remember. You cannot be a confident, independent person and be offended by emojis at the same time. The world is holding girls back so much. Very sad. Maybe if we had better emojis, then girls would have the confidence to graduate high school as much as boys and can go to college as much as well. Maybe they would have the confidence to choose daring majors like gender and women's studies instead of always choosing to worry about their income and employment prospects in math and engineering fields. I'm Glad Always is addressing the way that emojis are holding girls back from achieving at the level that boys achieve. How sweet. I just came here to make sure I wasn't the only one who thought this ad was ridiculous. Same. I'm a girl, I honestly don't see the big deal about this. They're just emojis. Aren't there real life problems that you should be complaining about rather than just images used for texting? Oh lord. Emojis should not affect your life. This is the cringiest ad ever. You shouldn't reduce yourself to being represented by something similar to an emoji. The very definition of a first world problem. And finally, the comment I relate to the most. I believe in equal rights, but this is the cringiest ad I've ever seen in my life. I found some other quotes not from YouTube that I feel are appropriate for addressing this topic. My favorite writer, Fyodor Dostoevsky, writes, "The world says, you have needs. Satisfy them. You have as much right as the rich and the mighty. Don't hesitate to satisfy your needs. Indeed, expand your needs and demand more. This is the worldly doctrine of today, and they believe that this is freedom. The result for the rich is isolation and suicide. For the poor, envy and murder." Kendrick Lamar would revamp this in 2016 with his album Untitled Unmastered by saying, "The cost of being successful is equal to being neglectful." Point is, if it's not really a problem, don't make a video acting like it is. On my channel, I like to make videos that I would generally consider positive, even if they're kind of cringy. I talk about things that interest me, things that inspire me, in hopes that I may reach out to somebody across the internet who feels the same way about these things that I talk about. But this is the first video I'm making that has a negative overtone. It kind of pains me to do that, but I think it's really necessary because the worldview that this advertisement promotes is actually a very commonly accepted one from what I'm seeing. I mean, you'd think that this thing would just be completely overwhelmed with dislikes, which it slowly is getting there, but it's still like half and half. There's still lots of people who support this kind of worldview. So I guess if I have like an overarching positive message, it'd be to not be a slave to the victim mentality. Be thankful that you at least have a phone to complain about, and just always consider those who are less fortunate than you. I know that's kind of corny, but it really is a simple mantra to live your life by, those kinds of things. Anyway, that's all I have to say for now. My name is Jiggelmeister. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.